Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and we're gonna kick off this new year with a January TBR featuring this little guy right here. Happy New Year, everyone. It is officially 2022. We made it. Congrats. We did it. And with the new year, of course, I have some goals, some reading goals, some personal life goals and stuff. But one of those goals is definitely to focus on my physical TBR. I will probably have to guess that at least half of them have not been read yet by me. So I really need to do better because I'm addicted to buying books at this point, but I need to be addicted to reading those books that I've bought as well. Also, with this new year, I have decided that I want to implement some type of TBR game. Nothing extremely creative, but something that is going to work for me. And so I'm excited to introduce you guys to my reading prompt jar that I will be using throughout this year and hopefully for a long time to pick out all of my TBRs for the year. Now, how this is going to work is I have 32 reading prompts in here, and thank you to those who suggested reading prompts to me. I will be choosing 5 prompts out of here every month. My Goodreads goal is 75 books, but I want to push myself and get to that 100 books read in the year of 2022. And so if I'm going to read 100 books this year, that means I have to read about 8.3 books every month. And so I'm thinking if I pick 5 books to physically read and then listen to at least 3 audiobooks, which I know I can do, I will definitely get to my at least 8 books read every month. So this game is really easy. I'm literally going to just pull a prompt, read the prompt out, and then find a book that I already own that fits the prompt. And the reason why I'm doing this is because lately I've been finding it hard to pick what books I want to read. I finish a book and then I'm like, okay, time for another read. And then I have no idea what book I want to read and it kind of stresses me out. So I'm hoping that a set TBR will kind of eliminate that stress because I'll already know what I'll be reading every month. And oh, one more thing. You can't really tell because this is a red mason jar, but inside all of the prompts are different colors. There are 8 colors right now with 4 prompts per color. And so I've decided that if I pull the same color 5 times, then I'll have to add another book on my TBR for the month, kind of make it fun, kind of make it interesting. So that'll be like my only rule. I know that some TBR games, like if you don't finish your TBR, you have to get a punishment or something like that. I'm not doing that to myself because I'm pretty sure there will be some months where I don't read all 5 of the books and I just don't want to punish myself. The punishment will come from pulling the same color 5 times. That's all I'm doing for myself. But yeah, that was a long-winded explanation. Hopefully it made sense. And if not, I'm hoping that it will make sense as we go along. Let's get started. Let me give it a good shake before I start choosing. All right, so obviously I'm going to look away from the camera because I don't want to see what color I'm gonna get and just dig my hand in here. So we'll kind of go for one that's on the top if I can get it. Okay, so this will be my first one. It is an orange color, so that is our first pull of the year, of the month, of ever. Let's see what the prompt is. So my first prompt is to read a thriller or a horror. I tend to read thrillers and horrors and audiobooks, but there is kind of a mystery book that I want to read. Actually, no, I know exactly what thriller or horror I'm going to read. All right, so I literally changed my mind 3 times already, but the book that I'm going with, read a thriller or horror, is going to be When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. The reason I'm choosing this book is because I've had this book for the absolute longest. This has been described as a Get Out retelling with gentrification as the main theme in this book. I really enjoyed the film Get Out. It really scared me because those types of things actually do happen. Of course, it's exaggerated in a way, but it's also commenting on things that actually happen in real life. And then also gentrification is becoming more and more popular these days, and just seeing it with my own eyes when I was in college, kind of experiencing that myself, but also learning about gentrification in my grad school right now, hearing about and learning about different neighborhoods that have gone through a whole bunch of changes in order to push a certain type of people in and invite another type of person to live in that neighborhood. So I'm very excited to see how this is done and when no one is watching. Also, I'm happy that I was able to choose this book because I want to participate in the Buzzwordathon readathon that is hosted by Books and Lala. The prompt for January is the 5 W's, the who, what, where, when, and how. And so when no one is watching, this is going to work out perfectly. So I'm happy that I'm going to be able to knock 2 birds out with 1 stone with this book. All right, so let's pick our second prompt. Again, not looking. Okay. This is the next one. We have a pink. All right, so far, no repeats, so I'm happy about that. My next one is boyfriend pick. So I'm gonna have to call my boyfriend and ask him to pick a book for me. So we'll see what he chooses for me. Calling him now. He better pick up.
Hi, pretty.
Hi. I am filming, and guess what prompt came up? It's time for you to pick a book for me.
Queen of N, whatever that one is.
He has chosen The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I'm happy that I'll be able to finish a series so early on in the year. This is the third and final book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. I have already read, of course, Cruel Prince and The Wicked King. I just had The Queen of Nothing to finish up. So this is what I'll be reading. I thoroughly enjoyed The Cruel Prince, but then The Wicked King kind of was like mid for me. I've heard that The Queen of Nothing is fantastic. So I'm hoping that that holds up and that I'm finishing out a series in 2022 with a bang. All right, so it's time for our third pick. So far, everything is going good. I'm having a great time. Okay, this one is light purple. Our third prompt is to read a romance. Let's see what romances I have. What do I want to read? OMG. All right, so for the read a romance prompt, I am finally going to be reading Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I am so excited to finally get my hands on this. I don't know why it's taking me so long to pick up this book. It's literally a graphic novel, so it should take me a day to read this book one sitting. Basically, like on the back, this says a boy meets a boy, these boys become friends, and then these boys fall in love. This is something that is extremely popular in the book community. I think there are 4 volumes of Heartstopper out now, and I think this is being adapted into a TV show, if I'm not mistaken. So lots of great things are happening surrounding this book, this story. So I'm excited to finally read the story of Nick and Charlie. All right, so it's time for our fourth pick. Okay, number 4, I'm going to choose something like on the top here. Okay, so yellow. And the prompt here, read a book with a single word title. And I'm excited that I got this one. I have a whole bunch of options for this. The single word title book that I'm going to choose for this prompt is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is in my end of 2021 TBR, the top 10 books that I wanted to read before the end of the year. And this one I didn't get a chance to read. So I'm excited that I'm moving this over into January and getting right to it. And this one we are following Victor and Eli, who started off as college roommates. They are brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognize the same sharpness and ambition in each other. In their senior year, a shared research interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions, someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. Every time I read that, I'm always interested in the fact that this is basically a villain's origin story here. I love villain origin stories. It gives you some more insight and background on why a villain is who they are. We're always following, the protagonist, and then we just have an antagonist and we don't know where they're coming from. Everybody has a reason for doing the things that they do. And so whether those decisions that they're making are considered good or bad, evil, whatever, they still have their reasoning. So I think it's interesting to read from different perspectives and understand different types of people. So I'm excited to see how Victor and Eli's research experiment becomes a bad thing and makes them villains. This is the first in a duology. We have Vicious and then there's Vengeful. So I'm excited to read this one so I can get to Vengeful and finish out another series in 2022. Okay, one more book. The last and final prompt for January. Oh, pink. So that means that we have 2 pink prompts in January, which means that if I get 3 more pinks, then I'll have to add another book. But today is not the day for that. We just have 2. The prompt here is to reread a book. Don't know how I feel about this one. I wasn't really trying to reread a book this month, but I guess I shall. Let me go figure out what book I want that to be. Okay, so actually this prompt ended up being perfect. I kind of forgot that I wanted to reread this book anyway. So the book that I will be rereading in the month of January is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And the reason why this is perfect is because the second book, House of Sky and Breath, is coming out next month in February. So yeah, I need to be very prepared for that book. And I already said that I was going to reread Crescent City either in January or February. So again, this is perfect and I'm happy that I pulled this prompt. So for those who don't yet know, in Crescent City, we are following Bryce Quinlan, who is a party girl. She works hard all day. She parties hard at nighttime until one day a demon brutally murders all of her friends. But they're able to figure out who the murderer was, but soon similar crimes start up again, and then Bryce finds herself at the middle of this investigation. And also involved in this investigation is Hunt Athalar, who is a notorious fallen angel, and he has been enslaved to the archangels. He is trying to free himself from this enslavement, and he is offered a great deal. If he's able to help Bryce find the murderer, then he will get his freedom in return. So Bryce and Hunt are working together, and they're spending so much time together, and they end up kind of looking at each other like, I think I like this person. There's a very steamy relationship between Bryce and Hunt. It's definitely a slow burn, but steamy all the while. I love them so much. They're one of my favorite book couples, and I really hope that Sarah J. Maas does not ruin that in the second book. I'm so ready to revisit these characters, revisit the story, the world. As you can see, I went ham on the annotations, and so I'm just happy to relive my thoughts and put new thoughts in here with the second reread and all that kind of stuff. So I am super happy that I chose a prompt to reread a book. All right, y'all. So these are the 5 books that I will be reading in January physically. I do not know yet what audiobooks I will be listening to, although I will say that I am listening to Caraval by Stephanie Garber right now. And so that is the first audiobook that I will be listening to in January. I am so happy with this stack. I would never have paired these books together in my entire life, which is why I really wanted to do this type of TBR game to kind of force me to read books that I would not have normally picked up if I was just looking at my bookshelf. I think I'm gonna have a wonderful time with this game. I hope that you guys have enjoyed these prompts that I've come up with. If you have any more prompts for me, I would love for you to leave them in the comments so I can continue to add to my jar and make it even more fun. I'm also currently reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, which now that I'm thinking about could have worked for the read a romance prompt. Like, I don't know why I didn't put that. But luckily, Heartstopper is very quick and easy read, so no problems there. But I am currently reading The Love Hypothesis, and I'm absolutely loving it. And I will have lots of thoughts on this one, so stay tuned for my wrap up where I talk about all of these books that I will be reading in January. And lastly, I will be reading The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin with Sid, which unfortunately did not work for any of these prompts, so I'm sad that I couldn't fit it in. It will have to be an extra book that I read in January. But I'm so excited to read this with Sid. I absolutely love her, adore her, love her channel. I will link her down below, so make sure to check her out if you haven't already. And basically, The Nature of Witches, it says that for centuries, witches have maintained the climate, their power from the sun peaking in the season of their birth, but now the control is faltering as the atmosphere becomes more erratic. All hope lies with Clara, an ever witch whose wear magic is tied to every season. I promise that is my last book that I will be attempting to read in January. So it should be a great reading month for me. It shouldn't be too stressful. A lot of the books on my list are pretty short, except for Crescent City, but I've read it already, so hopefully it'll go by faster than when I read it for the very first time. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you've made it to the end of this video, comment down below some celebration emojis. Given that we are in 2022, it's a new year, and I just want to celebrate with you guys all year long. If you like this video, please give it a big like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and make sure your notification bell is turned on so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. In my description box below, I have links to all of my social media accounts, including my Bookstagram, my Goodreads story graph, which I have just joined this year, so I'm excited for that, and a bunch of other things down below. So make sure you check out that description box as well. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you're excited for your January reading, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!